So if you guys ever need to build over blood ferns or I guess any other vegetation that is in your way, do it immediately after the star rupture and it works. Welcome back, everybody, to Star Rupture. I am the Beardhead OG, and in this episode, we are going to get a couple more corporations going and a couple other items going for research. So what we need to do is we need to make inductors for unlocking intermediate building material, and we also need inductors for unlocking this. But we only need 300, so we don't need to make a ton of those. And then there are two corporations we can work on right now. We can work on Griffiths, which is the applicator, and we can work on Moon Energy, which is the heat-resistant sheets. So I have set up off camera a full, a basic titanium production line, making 5 products. So we have frames here, or what are these called again? Frames? Housing, yeah. We have housing, we have tubes, we have rails, we have rods, and we have plates. So I went ahead and set it up here. I decided to do that rather than run it, from way over there. And I'll show you what I got going on up here. This is when everything is running, being pulled. This is a 100% efficient titanium production factory. When everything's being pulled. Right now nothing's running because all the storages are filled up. But what I mean by that is that if let's hop up into air drone here. So these 3 nodes, deposits, whatever, are 4, producing 4 per second because they're normals. Then I have 2 more over here that are impures, producing 2 per second. So all of these come into a total of 6 smelters because each smelter takes in 2. So we need 2 smelters per node to fully, 100% efficiently process all of that. This one outputs 2. This is making plates. Plates take 2. So that's an even exchange. This one outputs 2. This is also making plates, and it takes 2. So we're good to go there. This one outputs 2, and then 1 gets split into there and 1 gets split into there because these 2 machines are making rods and they take in 1 per second. Okay. And then this one is outputting 2. It's going to here, which is making plates and takes in 2. This one's outputting 1 each. These 2 machines are making rails. They take in 1 per. This machine's outputting 2, going into here making plates. Those 2 are outputting 2. They're wrapping around on these lines here and going into these 2 fabricators, which are also making rails. Now, I have 3 rails. Well, here, let's come back to that for a second. Okay, so this is making our plates. These are making our rods. These are making our rails. Just straight up product. And then all of that's getting routed through here and into these 3 depots and then shipped on down to the base down there. These machines are making, these 3 machines together are making tubes. We got tubes in there. That's taking in plates, that's taking in rods. Those 2 together then make the tubes, goes into the thing. And again, that's all 100% efficient in terms of the flow. These 3 machines are all 3 making rails, and then this machine's making plates. So this outputs 2, this takes in 2 plates per second. But these machines only produce 1 rail every 3 seconds, whereas this one takes in 3 rails every second. That's why I have 3 machines together feeding this. And then those come into here, making the housings. Okay, so yeah, that's my setup here. You know, showing this to you right now, taking you the tour, everything looks nice and neat and perfect and set up. But it took me a while to figure this out, you know, to do it neatly and also efficiently. And yeah, so there you go. I decided to, and again, I decided to do this one off camera just because this is, you know, basic stuff. It's titanium stuff. You've already seen me kind of put it together a few different times in different configurations, but this is our permanent titanium configuration. Now, that's not to say we might not need even more titanium in the future, but if we do, you know, we'll set that up somewhere else because this is maxed out. We can't pull any more titanium out of these deposits and do more with it other than what we're already doing with it. Very cool. Okay, let's head on back down to the main base and get started on those productions that we need to do. Something that one of you guys confirmed for me in the comments is that you can build over these nasty plants if you do it right after the star rupture. So I kind of figured that was the case because when you try to build over it, it says, see how it says in the red area, cannot build when active? That seems to imply that you could build over it when it's not active. I tried that when the planet was still, you know, burnt to a crisp, but it wouldn't let me do it. But you know, several minutes had gone by since the rupture before I tried that. So one of you guys told me in the comments, do it right after the rupture, and then you can. And sure enough, so we were able to put. I wanted to move this so it was centered between these 2 depots. I've been kind of pissing and moaning about that a couple of times. So yeah, that's cool. Good to know. So if you guys ever need to build over blood ferns or I guess any other vegetation that is in your way, do it immediately after the star rupture and it works. Also, just to show you, I also was able to get
good stuff.
The soul hearts.
Interesting plant.
Down here in the sulfur area, and it is those kind of gnarly looking stalks, and you run in, grab it, and run back out before you start taking any major damage. So there's some right over here. Okay, let's run in real quick, grab the soul hearts, and then get the fuck out of here. So that takes our shield all the way down, but shouldn't hurt our health. And then there's another 2 or 3 stalks of the soul heart over here as well. Yeah, these ones are a little easier to get to, so we can just run in right here. All right, fantastic. Let's head on back to the base and get those production lines going. Okay, let's start with the applicator for Griffiths, which is going to give us more inventory space. Applicator is a fabricator item, and I believe it takes tubes and glass, maybe? So let's come over here. Our tubes are right there. So let's place a fabricator down right here. And we'll set it to applicator. Yep, tubes and glass. That'll be easy. I'm just trying to think if I want to do 2 of these. Let's just do 1 to start, and then we'll see where we're at. In fact, if we are going to do it like that, which we are, let's move this over so we have a little more room. Fabricator. Over 1 notch there, and oh, come on. All right, I don't know why I waste my time it's just easier to put all these back in place first. Okay. We want it going that way, and we'll just keep it next to the glass furnace there. And we'll grab one of these, and we'll put you in there. And the glass, yeah, the glass is being made here. Why don't we just wrap this around to there? That makes that easy. And then we will... see, we want to redo these. I think what we'll do is we'll just reverse the direction of this thingy. Let's actually get that out of the way for the moment too. Okay, we'll go to a rail modulator. We'll put it here, flip it that way. And then we will do this, that, and that. We will connect you into there. Set you up to make applicators. It's a beautiful thing. And then set you guys for griffets. Take that stuff.
That's just what I need.
Just what you needed, huh? Okay, griffets is going. It's a beautiful thing. What is the rate of this? So this produces 4 per second. Nice. And it only requires 8 of those and 2 of those per second. Yeah, no problem at all. Keeping that fed. So that's coming out at... Okay, hold on a second. Oh no, it's coming out every 4 seconds, not 4 per second. I reversed that. Did a little Lixdexia there. Okay, so we'll let that run and we'll check it in a little bit to see what its progress is. Now, the other one we wanted to... save. We wanted to do moon energy? Yeah, for heat resistant sheets. So let's just set these up for that right now. And this is going to give us the base cooldown thingy. A lot of people, well, I don't know if I should say a lot of people, but I watch a few videos here and there on the game, you know, to get ideas and see what other people are doing. And people are saying that it isn't worth it to upgrade your core, because when you do, you know, then you start having bug attack problems and stuff like that. Instead, you just put a bunch of these cooling modules down, and it's a lot easier. So if that is actually indeed the case, then that sounds to me like that's a balance thing that the devs didn't intend, and will probably do something to make it so we do have to upgrade. Because, I mean, if that's part of what the gameplay is supposed to be, then that's what it's supposed to be, right? Any hoozle. That, I believe the thingy for the heat resistant shield is a furnace item. And I don't remember exactly what all it requires. So let's... yeah, let's just put the furnace there for now. And we'll take a look at what it requires. Oh, that's a triple. Okay. So let's get some glass loaded into there right now. And then do I have room to offload some of this glass? Not really. All right, what we might do then in that case, just to get rid of this extra glass, is put a temporary depot down to feed that. And why don't we just plop that down right here. And we want you to hold glass. Let's sort. perfect 100. Look at that. It's a beautiful thing. Okay. And then you just go into there. Okay, what else do you need? You need wolfram plates, which we have on the other side, and titanium sheets, which we have on this side. Okay, there's your titanium sheets, and then let's run and grab wolfram plates over here. Just do a temporary run over to that side. We could run that underneath. If we do that, okay, here. Let's remove this for a second and hop down here. Yeah, we could go straight back this way and then go to the left. Should be able to do that, right? I don't see why not. Maybe we'll do a... Yeah. We'll do a 4 thingy here. We can just actually pull it right off of here, because this is temporary. We won't leave it down there. So do that. Bring it up to there. Oh, shit. Okay. That works. Alright, let's move our body back over this way. Yep. And we'll run you over to, well, as far as it'll go, which is going to be to there. And get it to there. So it's level. And let's go closer this way. We're going to bring it up through here. So let's remove these tiles. Okay. Now, we want to come over to here. Turn that like so. Can I flip it all the... Yeah, I can flip it all the way around that way. Okay. So, we want to be right... Let's get directly over it there. That way we can kind of see what the hell we're doing. And I think we're going to want to hold it back a little bit too, just so it... Oh. Flip around that way. Go down to there. Yeah, I guess go to there, see if that's enough. It's too steep. It says it's colliding with something, but what's it colliding with? All right, let's take this back off for a second. All right, and then there we go. And it's feeding through over there. It's a beautiful thing. Okay, how many times am I going to say that in this episode? I don't know. Will it let me do this? Yes, it will. Nice. Just so we don't accidentally fall in a big ass hole, right? Should maybe be able to do that over here too. No, it's too much in the middle. Fine. Be that way. Okay. Now we just need to output over to you guys. Let's put a rail modulator right here. output to you. You go there, you go there, you go there. And we're in business. Okay, so that gets our 2 corporations going. Now what we want to do is we want to set up an inductor production for research purposes. I think that is also a furnace item. Let's go take a quick look. I wish we could see what the recipes were without having to put a machine down first. I don't think we can do that, can we? Those are blueprints. Oh, we need to do that blueprint. Those are weapons. Those are skills. Oh, look at that. We've unlocked another movement. Let's go do that right now. So, well, first of all, let's see what we need for inductors. We need tubes, wire, and ceramics. So this is like a next tier item. It requires 3 things. Just like, well, yeah, just like the ablative plating is, or whatever. Okay, so ceramics, wire, and tube. All right, let's come back to that. But first, let's get ourselves another limb. This will be the final limb we can do in early access because we can't unlock anything more than that. And so we're looking at movement. Yeah, see, you can't level up over 45 in early access. I wonder why that is. I don't know. Okay, so we're looking for another movement limb. And we have fog of war and we have double jump cost. I think double jump cost is going to be more practical on a day-to-day basis.
I feel it working.
Stamina regen. Increase max stamina. I like it. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. See, I said it again. But it is. It is a beautiful thing. Okay, so we need to get ceramics going. We already have tubes and I think it was wire, right? Yeah, okay, so we have wire and tubes already going. But we need ceramics. Ceramics is also a furnace item. And that requires sheets and wolfram. Good, because I actually have a bunch of extra sheets that I want to get rid of. How's this glass doing? Okay, it's still got quite a bit to go, so I'll have to just remember to switch that over. Let's go ahead and set this one up over here. And there's the wire. I'm still, you know, just trying to be okay with temporary setups because I don't know, I'm just so used to Satisfactory where you set up permanent setups and then you just leave it that way forever, you know? It's not necessarily the way this game works, except for when you're doing something like that. That's gonna, you know, way up on the hill there, our titanium, that's gonna stay that way forever. There's no reason to change it because it's maxed out as good as it's gonna get. Anyway, let's set the furnace down here. Yeah, that's good. We'll set this to ceramics. We'll connect in... Oh, wait a minute. Is that... That's powder. Okay, well, we got that too. So that can go in there. And then we need the ceramic plating, which we do have over here, but what I want to do, because I have a bunch of excess, is again put a depot down, a temporary depot, to feed that. So let's just stick that right there. We'll make this ceramic plates. And then let's go grab those plates. Basic products.
Oh, yes.
Okay, and then we will grab a rail and pop that into there. Okay, so you're making ceramics. And then we will add another furnace after you. And set that up to make inductors. Throw those tubes in there. This is the one that needs the wire. So you go there. Wire is here. Oh, things get a little messy, but you know, it is what it is, right? We'll just pop you here. Let's change you over to the center connection. Bring you around to there. Okay, that looks good. And then we need to bring tubes over here. Okay, so tubes are here. Yeah, I think this is going to get really messy for a little bit. So let's bring you over to here. We might have to go high, yeah. Oh, okay, no. Do this. I don't know why that was still red. But it let me put it down. Try that again. Tubes. Okay, lock that and then raise that up one. Yeah, see the base was still red, but whatever. Okay. And come all the way to here. Lock that in, raise it up one so it's level. And then wrap it around this way. And then the final thing we want to do is put a depot down to collect the product. Now, we're not using this to make anything, we're just using it for research. So I'm just gonna, and I think I said we only needed like 300, right? So we're just gonna do one depot. All right, let's take a look and see where we are with our progress. 9% on Griffiths, 8% on Moon. So that's going to take a little while. Question now is, do we want to double anything up to speed that up, or do we want to just let it do its thing and we'll go do some more exploration? Kind of thinking the second thing. Yeah, put that in there. No. You're the one that needs the extra ceramics. There we go. Offload all that stuff. We have 33 of those so far. So the first thing we're going to do is this one, because then when we get intermediate building material, then we can start doing aerial drones and we can do the larger habitat. And my tentative plan for the larger habitat is to replace this one. So we're gonna have to pull everything out of there. We'll put the larger one down, but we're gonna put it all the way down on the ground so we can stack them. Because I'd like to go up higher and have a nice view of the star rupture. And we can't currently stack this because it just doesn't let us. So that's why we need to put the buildings down below. I wonder if we can stack a smaller habitat on top of a larger. We'll have to try that. So we're a little over halfway there. Why don't we wait until we get 100 of these so we can do that, and we'll just mess with the habitat a little bit before we go explore, because these guys, yeah, these guys may not finish before this episode's over. So what that actually means then is I need to, got a bunch of, oh man, moving all the storage is going to be a pain in the ass. Oh. Here, grab all of this stuff. I forgot I had all of those. Let's turn that off and put another temporary depot down and get rid of these extra ceramics that we have. We'll stick it right there. And it's you, right? Yeah. That's not going to let me do that. It lets me go here. It did let me. Oh, get our body out of the way. Can't quite get to there. If we go there, then can we wrap it up into here? No, we cannot. Okay, let's go lock that in, bring this up to, no, that's not gonna work. Damn it, Jim. Get rid of this. Put that there. Turn it this way. Lock it in, raise it up. There we go. Yeah, it doesn't take long to make a mess in this game. But you do what you gotta do, right? Okay, so that'll get rid of those extra ceramics, and let's see. We have two more there. Where did that go? It's over here. Put those in there too. Okay, so I don't know, man. I don't know if I want to actually do the habitat now while I'm recording, because it's going to take me a long time. What I'm going to have to, have to do is set up a temporary habitat, transfer all of this shit out of the storage to it, and then tear this down and rebuild with the big one. So I'll tell you what, let's do. Let's grab our first 100 inductors and finish this research. There we go. Now we can make intermediate building material. To do that, we need inductors, glass, and titanium housing. And I guess that means we make 10 per item, if I'm reading that correctly. Alright, let's grab whatever we have. We already have the glass. We've got those. What was the fourth ingredient? Oh yeah, titanium housing. Yeah, it looks like we make 10 per. Okay, let's go grab some housings. Come to think of it, I might have some spares of those too. Intermediate product? Yes, I do. Look at that. Notes to self, you also have rotors and gyro thingies too. Okay, so let's make as many of these as we can. which is 400. Okay. Now, what I want to do is I just want to look at how large the new habitat is. Oh shit, we need those. It looks like it's about twice as long as this one. All right, let's go back to here. We need 500 here. We'll put the data points in now. We need 500 of those to unlock quartz. Seems like this is a lot harder to obtain than this is. That might be something that needs to be balanced too, perhaps. Okay, grab a few more of those. Let's get an even 40. Okay, then we have plenty of the other stuff. There, now we have 800. Okay.
Rupture activity detected.
Of course it is.
I recommend finding a safe place.
Boom. All right, we have finished quartz and intermediate building material. We still have to do these batteries, but I need electronics and chemicals, which I have not come across yet. So to make the quartz, we need quartz and intermediate building. Quartz ore, I believe I have in here. And then let's go here, let's go here. How many did that make? Oh, only 120. And we need, oh, that's enough. Yeah, we just need 40. All right, let's take a quick look-see at this. Oh, I can't get up on my drone now because of the rupture. All right. So yeah, it looks like it's about double the so that's 1, 2, 3, 4 on that side and 1, 2, 3 on this side. This one is here. Let's just put it down so we can look at it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so it's the same.
I need to drink something.
It's 4 wide, but gotcha. Okay, let's get inside. Okay, so it's 4 wide, but then it's 8 long. Whereas this is 3 wide and 4 long. So that's good to know. So yeah, setting up shop
Head to safety immediately.
is something I'm going to at least do the initial, if not the entire thing off camera, just because it's going to be really tedious to move all that shit. But what I'd like to do is I'd like to see if we can stack a smaller one on top of a larger one. Just so we know if that works. And again, the intent is to kind of make almost like a tower so we can go up high to watch the star rupture when it happens. Just for funsies. Because funsies is important.
Planetary temperature within acceptable parameters.
Okay, let's head on back outside. Guess we're gonna have to wait for that to cool down. So question now, will it let us stack these? It does. It doesn't. Okay, well now we know. That's kind of a bummer because what I wanted to do is have a wide one down below and then the smaller ones for the tower. Okay, here's another possible option. What we could do is have these in a separate building. So we do a stack of smaller ones to make the tower, but then we have the larger one down low as kind of the main living area. And we could have the main living area in this space here, because that's kind of what I was hanging on to it for. Build this, move all the shit out of here into here, so that way I don't have to move it twice. Then redo these stacked and then make them go up high. I think that's what we'll do, except for I'll probably turn... I might turn this one around and have it run long ways. I think that's what we'll end up doing. Can we put that in place now? Okay, it's not going to let me do that, probably because we're going to have to put some pillars down like we did with that one. But I'm only going to have one of these big ones, so we don't need to stack them. At least I think that's what I'm going to do. Got 120 of those, it takes 40. If I did do that. So we can't put that directly in the center. The smaller building. Unless, well, no, we can't because they're even numbers. So either way, we can't do that. So it almost might be better to put it on the side, maybe. Well, I think what we'll do is we'll go like this. Maybe we will just stack those. That way I don't have to futz around with the...
I need to drink something.
Oh, that didn't... Okay, that's not going to be a problem. So, why don't we... I'm almost wondering if I should move this ramp and then butt this up against here. Not a big fan of that gap being there. So we could make the entryway here. That's kind of cheesy McSqueezy. I don't suppose we could patch that with this, could we? Well, why the hell didn't they make the lip of that come up? Yeah, I'm not... That's going to bug the hell out of me. So we're not going to do the stackable thing. I'm just going to build pillars so I can build this up and it's sealed. 'Cause that gap sucks. But I think we will do it like this, though. We'll position it here. And then that way these two edges are lined up nicely. We'll redo that, stack it up high, make a tower. But this will be kind of our main living area, and that will be more for funsies. And maybe extra storage down the road if we actually need it. So I think that's what we'll do. Alright guys, so I still seem to be having some trouble getting this structure to work even with pillars. So I guess I need to put even more pillars down there. Seems kind of odd that it would require that many, but I guess, yeah, I guess we just need more pillars. Okay, so I'll pop some more in here and see if I can get this to behave. Okay, that did the trick. Now, I think what I'm going to do is hold this to here. And then for this building, just trying to decide if I want to keep it. I think I want to kind of keep it centered, you know, with that.
Arcadia 7 has finished regenerating.
Which means we could maybe move this over one. Or over all the way, so they're actually going to be touching. I don't know, do they need to touch though to use the connector? I don't think they do. Only downside to that is we just have let's see, where's the okay, horizontal connector. All ends need to be connected to something. Okay, so it's not going to let me do that. It looks like I can be maybe one tile away. So I guess I just need to decide if I want then this to be butted up against that. Let's try that first and just see what it looks like. We'll fill this back in first, otherwise it might fight me. So that would be as close as it can get right there. And then we should be able to add the horizontal. Yep, there we go. Okay. Lots more space in here. But what we're actually going to do is we're going to take everything out of here, put it into here, and then we're going to remove this building and stack them from the ground up so we can go up higher. Hopefully there isn't a limit to that. All right, so I also want an entrance here. Get into the main building, and we'll probably keep an airlock entrance on the tower so we can go into it as well. Though, again, I'm not necessarily going to be putting a lot of stuff in there. I'll probably put things we only use on occasion in there, like the regeneration chamber, maybe the limb station. So these two things here, because we don't use those a lot. Everything else we use on a fairly frequent basis. Okay, so now that we know that, let's grab the analysis station, and we will put that right here because that's like one of the first things we want to go to when we come back, so we can get rid of anything that we've, you know, in our inventory that we want to analyze. Probably the next most access thing would be checking for recipes, so let's grab you. And we'll put the recipe station here. Okay. Then I'm thinking we put the basic printer here. Basic item printer. Okay. We're going to save some of this wall space for viewports. There's nothing to view on this side. You know, now that I think about that, actually, what if we put the airlock on this end instead? That might make more sense. So pick that up, pick that up. Put basic item printer there. Put airlock here. Right, I'm liking that. Okay. How did that disappear? Maybe because we changed the configuration or something? Game save. Yeah, you know what? Actually, it would be better to put that in the corner, because it'll just give us more wall space. So let's grab everything out of you. Why were those two dependent upon one another? That doesn't make sense. Okay, so the horizontal connector will go here. That way we can come right on into here. And that maximizes our wall space. I like it. Okay, so these two things will stay in the tower. Well, they don't really need to, though. We got a bunch of space, don't we? All right, well, let's grab you next. Weapon station and food station. And corporate terminal. Grab those two things. Let's put corporate terminal here. We could even put it right there. Why don't we? Let's put equipment upgrade station there. We'll put food station here. So basically all of our crafting types of stations will be in this corner. What if we do this? I'm just kind of thinking of optimal spacing here. Put corporate terminal here. And one thing we could do if we just needed to check it really quick is we could come in here without actually going into the building. Not that that's that big of a deal. Let's put the basic item printer here. And then we can put analysis station and recipe station in the corner because they have a smaller footprint, so they both fit better in that corner, I think. This whole entire wall can be storage, and we can put windows on that wall and more storage as needed. Right, okay, so let's just load up these walls with storage. And might as well load these walls up with storage too. That's a lot of storage. And then we'll just have one big ass window on this side, which will give us a nice view of the star rupture if we happen to be in here instead of in the tower when it happens, which will happen many times, I'm sure. Why does that change again? That is weird. I don't know. Okay, let's grab both of these stations. And we're going to just temporarily put them in here. Yeah, I'm just going to temporarily put them here. They're not going to stay here, but I want to have them down so we can use them if we need to in the interim. And make sure we make that. You know what? Why don't we change characters now too? We've been the biologist for a while. Let's be the scientist. Here we go. Boom. We are now a scientist. And we'll play with him for a little bit. And then that way we've tried all 4 characters. Okay. So now it's just a matter of moving the storage over into here, figuring out how I'm going to organize it, and then redoing this as a stacked tower. So I'm going to cut the camera. I'm going to get all my shit moved over because that's just going to be tedious. And then when that's done, we'll come back and we'll stack the towers and we'll finish up that part of it. Okay, I've got everything moved over and organized. So raw consumables, prepared consumables, consumable overflow. Both of these are for ammo. This is for ammunition materials. Raw resources, basic products, intermediate products, advanced products, building materials, product overflow. Limbs in both of those, valuables in here, and then the rest of those are just empty for the moment. And that gets all of our shit moved over here. All of these should now be empty. So what we're going to do is we're going to go out here. And we're going to take this whole entire thing down. And we're going to take these down. Hopefully this boulder here isn't going to give us grief. Alright, now we want to grab the habitat and put it all the way down like so. Is that... That's sunk down one. Okay, so let's see if we can raise this up one thing. If we can't, then this is going to completely screw me up. Okay, raise it up one. There. That should... Is that right? Oh, it's still leaving that gap there. And it's too low. Okay, let's see if we can bring it up even higher. Because yeah, it's not going to let me do that. Alright, so that's as high as it'll go. Okay, so let's go 1, 2, 3. Is that at the right level? Nope, needs to come up one more. So we got to bring it up 4 clicks. Hopefully it'll let me do that. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now we're at the right level. Oh man, it's only gonna let me go up one more. Shit. Is that just a game limitation, or is it because it's not close enough to the ground? Let's just try an experiment here. So that's right on the ground. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it looks like it'll only let you go up 3 high no matter what, unless there's some workaround for that. Okay, well, 3 high is what it's going to have to be then. Let's put an airlock there. And I don't know, there's nothing we can do about this gap. It's just the way it's going to be. I don't know what we could do about it. So it looks kind of jank, but it is what it is. Horizontal connector can go there. At least we don't have to worry about the horizontal connector piece. Okay, Now, let's go ahead and put these machines back in the smaller habitat. I think we'll put the regen chamber here. Whoops, wrong button. And we'll put the limb station here. And then let's put the vertical connector there. And then this whole upper floor will be just viewports. That was kind of the whole point. I just wish we could have gone up a little higher, but it is what it is. Alright, well that gives us a decent view of the star rupture. And we have a nice 360 panoramic view of everything else. I like it. So the only thing I'm not super happy with is this gap, but again, don't think there's anything we can do about it. I don't know what I could. So it's just gonna have to be the way that it is. I don't suppose it would let me glitch. Oh, it does. Look at that. Oh, nice. Okay. Well, that takes care of that issue. I'm surprised it's letting me do that. Fantastic. Not just fantastic, fan-frickin-tastic. Alright guys, I think we got our home nice and set up here. I love it. How many times have I said I love it in this episode? We are 13% on Moon and 23% on Griffiths. Okay. So things are trucking along, except for we are probably... Yeah, we've exhausted the ceramics. So let's get this out of here. Fill that back in, remove this. And then reconnect the ceramic here. So we get that back up and running. And we also are probably finished with the extra glass that we had feeding over here. Oh no, we're not. Okay, is this not doing something? It doesn't have titanium sheets. Why does it not have titanium sheets? Is that going to be a log out and log back in thing? Because I can't think of why we would be out of those. Wait a minute, did I turn this off? No, I didn't. I don't think I turned this one off either, right? No. Okay, well, everything's working over here. And we're just going to build up, you know, several stacks of 100 of these, so we have them. Okay, what about you? You're supposed to be making ceramic... Oh, this is the one I switched off. Right, okay. Because I remember that I had switched one off earlier. That was actually several hours ago for me in real life. Okay, so yeah, we just got to figure out why we're not getting the sheets. My guess is that it's just a log out thing. So let's try that first before we run up there. Okay, do we see sheets moving back down the line? I think so. Yeah, we do. Yeah, that's something they definitely need to fix. So I think what... I don't know this for sure, but my guess is that a machine queues up an order for a product, and then something interrupts that, whether that be me, like, turning machines off or changing lines around or whatever, but it stays stuck on that initial order, and it doesn't, like, recheck it. So I think what they need to do is have machines periodically recheck the order or re-poll for whatever their product is, rather than just being stuck. I'm sure that something along those lines will happen to fix that, because that's obviously not the way it should be working. But we are now back in business here. Are you getting Wolfram plates? Yeah, we got Wolfram plates coming in there. And I think we're back in business with both of our corporations. So that's about all we can do at the moment for the corpse. So what we'll do is we'll finish Moon and Griffiths, and that will give us the base amplifiers and the extra inventory space. And then what we need to do is we can't do chemicals until we find the blueprint. We can't do electronics or synthetic silicon until we find the blueprints. And we can't do super magnets and nozzles. So basically, exploration. We're pretty much going to be at a standstill until we find those blueprints. Speaking of which, we do have the one blueprint that we found. Which one was it? Wait a second. It's... Oh, we can't even do this one yet, because this, I think, is the press. Right, and then these are just duplicates. So we have to wait till we get the press before we can learn that next blueprint, and that's going to come with Selenium, I think. Yeah, the Mega Press. But we need electronics or synthetic silicon before we can do that. So yeah, I think we have exploration, combat, and adventure in store for us in the next upcoming episodes. Ladies and gents, I think I'm going to wrap up the episode here. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, share out the video, and we'll catch you all in the next episode. Bye-bye.